Welcome to the Right On Sports Show. There are many sports shows out there, but this one is Right On. Four guys giving each other hell about sports and their sometimes questionable choice of teams. Featuring the head of the table, Kyle Wright, the king of shit takes, Marcus Weisner, the show's resident asshole, Nick Gurley, and finally, doing all the dirty work, the show bitch himself, Drew Gorman. How these guys all get along, we may never know. But let's try to find out. Let's get started.
Woo! You are not mistaken. Your screen's not broken. Nothing bad's happening. You didn't reverse time. Nothing bad happened to your phone. You're good. The whole damn staff is here. Welcome back.
Daddy's back.
Yeah.
Let's
Daddy
go.
is back. Yeah, everybody's here.
Open wide.
Open
Open wide
wide.
because some content's coming your way.
Oh, goodness. It didn't take long, did it? To
No,
get the...
I just might as well just throw it out there from the very beginning.
Well, everybody, thank you for watching. Thanks for listening. Whatever you're doing, we appreciate you guys stopping by. I'm Kyle Wright here with Drew Gorman, who's been here every week, baby.
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Atta boy, Drew.
Marcus
We're
Weisner.
so proud of you.
Marcus Weisner, who
Thank
took a 1 week hiatus just to move into a new home. So I'm glad we come second place to your home. We never should, by the way.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
And then
I know, right?
have you even been a part of this yet?
Well,
Week one.
Hey,
and I
8
can
years
say,
ago.
And I can say this. That was the best one. So screw all of you.
Yeah.
hey, Zach is saying, "What's up, part-timers?"
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Zach's up and ready and at him.
I'm not going to lie. Zach's been on more episodes than I have.
Yeah, is this Kyle, the guy that's sitting next to you? Is this a new guy on the network?
Yeah,
Something we
man,
haven't
This one's
introduced
less
yet.
bald.
Yeah, less bald. Yeah. This one's got some
Oh.
hair going on, dude.
Yeah.
That's kind of weird. I didn't even notice it until he said it. He's got some hair growing over here. Oh, my goodness. So probably a good time to plug that I'll be out next week.
Oh, so Drew is the only one at 100% so
Let's get
far.
it.
Yeah, that's right.
No,
Yeah.
no. So far is the wrong terminology. I've been here for every show so far.
Till next week.
Next week, my batting average will go down a little bit.
There are two things guaranteed so far right now. It's Drew being on every episode and Drew losing in every damn week in fantasy football. Let's go,
Hey,
Drew.
Not all. Just the one that really matters.
Just the one that matters,
I was
right?
about to say.
Yeah.
I mean,
The
the,
one
other
where-
ones, the other ones that have nothing to do with this network don't even count. I don't get on here and oh yeah, well, I mean, I'm like super good in all my other ones. Yeah, that's because all of your other friends are idiots.
I don't do that either. But
I'm in
however,
first place in beating his ass.
That's
in-
his
in our
family,
league.
though. It's his family.
yeah, that's
That
I mean, good
apparently
job.
has a whole lot more trash talking
What?
that I've yet to see.
I mean, well, because you sit there, they try to talk. My dad tries to talk smack, and everybody just looks at it and goes, "Huh," and puts the put the shit down.
That's a little rude.
Yeah,
That's a little rude.
So speaking of 0-6 in fantasy, every other Thursday here on the Right On Network, you could catch these guys giving you the worst fantasy football advice imaginable. I'm sorry, I'm gonna turn that back up. Hit that again. It's garbage.
it is it just smells like that too. I
It
mean,
does.
ugh.
It does. That's about the quality of advice that you're getting out
Love you
here.
too, guys.
Yeah.
Love you too.
No problem.
Right.
No problem. Woo, we got a good show.
At least, like, I give some good advice, but some, like, I can't, be 100%. Hell, I can't
All
be
right,
50%.
I'm just
But
going to
if
go
I'm
ahead
at
and
least
throw
20
that shit out. Marcus, every person you have ever told me to start has flunked.
You guys
Oh, no, I know.
single-handedly cost
That's why,
me
that's why I put a disclaimer.
game.
I always put a disclaimer. Whoever I say to start, sit. Whoever I say to sit, start.
True.
That's
And
it.
that
You can
way
never
you
be
can't-
wrong.
He does say that.
Be wrong.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
every
Say
time,
it.
I literally, one episode, I had said this because the whole matchup thing with Jalen Ramsey and DK Metcalf. I said, I think you should sit DK just because if he's matched up on him all day. And then what happens? The two catches he had that wasn't against Jalen Ramsey, he had two big ass touchdowns.
One of those was against Jalen Ramsey. I watched that
was it?
game. Yes.
When he was covered by Jalen Ramsey, he had one catch,
and it was a touchdown.
and it was a touchdown.
yeah.
Yeah.
And he
Okay,
shook,
one
and he
catch-
shook
one
him
catch,
out of his
Nick,
shoes.
okay.
Like, that was honestly one of the worst plays I've ever seen of Jalen Ramsey, which was probably like a regular average play from other cornerbacks. But I'm just like, DK, you always start DK. And anybody who says don't start DK should not be on a fantasy podcast.
Well, I sat DeAndre Hopkins a couple weeks ago, and he put up a 10. So, and I felt that
Which
was
is bad
a
for
great move.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yes.
Like I said
Yeah.
in this past week's episode,
Oh, the one that didn't
the
get
one
posted?
that didn't get posted.
So,
But,
so
Well,
then
okay,
why are we
if
even
we're
talking
gonna
about
start
it?
just bringing it
poking
up.
things
Just bringing it up for you.
Look,
Yeah, I'm sure all of our
I
listeners
was in the
loved it.
middle of a massive move, okay, and I literally didn't even get my computer set up until 10:30 last night.
Hey, you know what?
I did it just for you guys.
I would've
Otherwise,
loved-
it probably would have been hooked up tonight for
Myles
me to go to work
Gaskin
tomorrow.
Sucks. I remember before the year, these same fantasy guys was like, dude, Myles Gaskin's not that bad.
I can say this just so everybody knows. We are watching the Dolphins versus the Jags. So there's going to be a couple of, oh, shit, going on throughout the episode.
I know this is probably illegal, but Jason Sanders is lining up for a 30-yard field goal right now, and he's probably going to shank it.
we made it.
Well, I don't know what we didn't get to see the kick, but
Yeah, that was
We
the
nailed it.
worst
What the-
camera angle I've ever
what the hell
seen.
just happened? Okay. All right. So we have a lot to get into today, and we're going to start off like we do every week here. We got a lot of college football talk to get through. And I want to ask you guys something. This is a big question because we're not going to talk about the games that happened yesterday so much, even though sporting our beautiful purple and gold over here. Hold on.
Oh, my God.
Change my
Really?
wardrobe for a minute.
What
here.
happened? What are we doing? here?
Really?
Oh,
Really?
Change my wardrobe here for a minute. So
I love it.
You know, I almost put on a Florida Gator shirt today.
did you?
And then
was
I
hoping
realized,
you would.
you know what? My other team doing fantastic right now. Let's just run with
support
that.
with them.
Let's just run with that.
I'm not gonna wear this shit. Let me put it somewhere.
Hey!
That was a good throw. I mean, honestly,
You got to keep it there now. That was fucking
I deserve
perfect.
it. I deserve it.
The same play.
Over.
Dude, he ran a draw 30 times in a row. I mean, if Todd Grantham does not get fired, he should have gotten fired last year. Let's be real.
Mm-hmm.
It's terrible. The first year he was there, they blitzed a bunch. It was great. But we also, let's just go ahead and say it, throw it all out there, whatever. Dan Mullen can't recruit for shit.
Oh, God.
So now we're finally getting to his players. And he doesn't, to his classes. I'm not saying that the players are
Tag
bad.
your
The-
Florida fan friends, by the way, because I had a lot of hate on me on that status last night. There was somebody that even commented late last night and said, "Oh, just because you don't really
saw
know
that.
college football if you think
One game.
One
It's not
game.
one
It's
game.
not one
we come up
game.
short in every big game, and that was not even a big game. That was not even a big game. Once we lose one game, Dan Mullen loses the entire team. The talent that they still have on that team is incredible. They should be a hell of a lot better. I don't think Dan Mullen will ever take us to the promised land. He's a good coach. I'm not saying he's not, but I just don't since he's been at Florida and anybody who really says, yay, Dan Mullen, yay. Dude, we passed up on him for several years for a reason because honestly, he was not that great at Mississippi State.
he rode the success of Dak Prescott in the NFL.
And then he
that's
got,
how he got his job.
And then he got Fitzgerald. No, not Fitzgerald.
Fitzpatrick, right? The guy that
It's Pat Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald.
Nick
Fitzgerald.
the guy that snapped his leg, right?
Yeah. So and rode his success as well. But
Like Montez Sweat. He did have some good
so
recruits.
he had but he can't recruit, and we lose out. We are in the top 5 for every single 5-star every time because of where we are. We're in Florida. We're in the SEC. Blah blah blah. But we lose out on them every single time. Right now, Florida State is 2-4. I'm not pointing fingers at Florida. I'm just saying 2-4, and their recruiting class is incredible. We went. Last year we won 8 games, and every year before that we won 10 or 11 one year. And we cannot get a good recruiting class to save our damn lives. Cannot do it. So what is going on in these? He just can't recruit for shit. It's time to move on.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say.
time to
Everybody
move
blames Todd Grantham, and absolutely rightfully so. Like Grantham is he's
49 points, 30
you're
fucking
a garbage
draws.
defensive
Excuse
coordinator.
me.
But let me ask you this. If you have if you have a yard maintenance guy, I don't know if you actually do or not, but if you hire somebody to
I
do
do. His
your
name is
yard
Tim
maintenance-
Reed. Shout out.
Shout out to Tim Reed. He does a good job, right?
He does a good job.
But let's say Tim Reed shows up and starts shitting the bed.
Mm-hmm.
And he's your buddy, and Todd Grantham's Dan Mullen's buddy, so it's a pretty good situation.
Mm-hmm.
And Tim Reed starts to do a horrible job doing your yard, an awful job. How long is it Tim Reed's fault if you don't reprimand him for that? If you don't step in and be like, hey, you got to do this better. We got to make this adjustment. You got to make this adjustment, dude. How long is that Todd Grantham's fault if Dan Mullen continues to let it happen? There was no adjustment at halftime.
I legitimately thought I was watching someone play Madden because it was the same. Once you figure out that one play and you just keep on going and you just keep on going and you just keep on going. I mean, we had one play that worked on LSU every single time, and that was the wheel route with the running back. It worked every time. There was a couple of times that it got overthrown or underthrown or something like that. But obviously, we have two quarterbacks who cannot throw slants because they threw TDs for LSU on almost every freaking slant they threw. But the wheel route was working, and what did Dan Mullen do?
Stayed away.
Didn't do it. They ran legitimately 30 draws. So I'm just going to stop talking. Florida, just do something different.
I got a question for you, Nick.
What coach is out there to go get? Go ahead.
I've got a question for you. No, that's actually a good point. I was going to mention Urban Meyer. If, let's say, because obviously Jacksonville might go 1-15 after beating the Dolphins today. Or 1-16, I'm sorry. If they go 1-16 and, Jacksonville says, you know what, we don't want Urban no more, would Florida be interested in having him come back?
Like the fan base?
Like, I mean, as a fan, if Urban said, I would like to come back to Florida, because I know you love reunions. I think that's like one of your favorite things about football. Do you think that Urban and company could come back to Florida and kind of bring back that swagger that they used to have,
No.
Maybe. No, you don't think so?
No. One, I
'Cause
don't like Urban Meyer very much. Yeah, he brought us a couple of championships. Great, fantastic. The difference
He was
is
also a hell of a recruiter, too.
he was a good recruiter, but look at the team we had. I mean, honestly, that team
that was a documentary.
Exactly. I mean, that team was insane on all aspects. Dude, I just don't. No. I would say from the fan base, I would say no.
We've got
You don't leave and then say, "Oh, my heart," and then go straight to Ohio State. Nah, screw you.
We've got Josh Jones in the chat. Brings up a good point. He's a Michigan State fan. Sparty's on to 7-0, and then he also mentions Mel Tucker, the head coach for Michigan State. Does that have any draw?
I mean, listen, I think we've kind of played this game before, and I think Michigan State's a much more respected program because he's actually doing a good job there, and what I think is the best conference in college football in the Big Ten. I mean, this year at least. Top to bottom, yeah, 100%. And he's doing a good job there, so maybe. But Florida's kind of played that game already. See Dan Mullen, see Will Muschamp, guys who have had success, like as a little bit of success.
Yep.
Somewhere.
It doesn't typically work when you only have. I mean, everybody kind of tries it. I mean, that was Willie Taggart for Florida State.
He didn't have any success anywhere.
He had success at USF, and that was it. And it was only for like what one year.
He had 10 wins and got smoked in their bowl game by Western Kentucky, the program that he left to go to USF.
Oh wow, yeah, I didn't know that.
Dude, trust me, that's the Willie Taggart situation.
But the little success is it just does. I mean, to me, I think Florida, the program that they need somebody with a very, very long track record of success. And I'm not talking about Mississippi State success. I mean, because Dan Mullen did well for Mississippi State, but when was Mississippi State last in the contention
8 wins
conversation?
8 wins is a good season for Mississippi State.
100%.
And we've also got Chef Chris over here on the YouTube side, always starting off the day saying, I got my popcorn ready. And then he also said, if Urban goes back to Florida, can we please make his tagline grind time?
Grind time. So,
Jesus.
I mean, listen. I mean, there are quality candidates out there that have had some decent success. I mean, honestly, and I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but he didn't do a good job at Tennessee, and of course, you had the recruiting violations and all that. But I think Jeremy Pruitt would do a good job at Florida.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, right now, to tell you the truth,
Florida well.
Honestly, I think that what Florida needs, and this is going to make me sound like an idiot,
Kiffin.
I don't mind Kiffin. I mean, I'm not saying he should come to Florida, but I love Kiffin as a coach just based solely on the fact that, I mean, he's just so confrontational, but I think what Florida needs is an amazing recruiter. And then an old school coach. They need some really good recruiters and then an old school coach, and that's it. Because
Mark Stoops?
that'd be a great one.
That'd be a great coach.
From
he's a hell of a
Kentucky.
recruiter.
Les Miles. I mean, he's at Kansas, but I mean,
All I'm saying,
no,
he
he's
just
not at
needs that.
Kansas
They
anymore.
need
No, he
the.
got fired, right?
They need the recruiter because there's so much talent in Florida, and guess who we lose out on all of it, almost all of it. You know where we
Alabama.
recruit great? Georgia. If you are the University of Florida and you recruit great in Georgia, and I'm not saying there's not talent in Georgia. There's a crap ton of talent in Georgia, but
it ain't South Florida.
it is in South Florida, and we get beat out every single year by everybody. Alabama recruits way better than us in South Florida.
Yeah,
Florida State recruits better than us in South Florida. In South Florida, Gainesville is Central Florida. Tallahassee is in North Florida, and we still get beat out by Florida State. And they've had relatively the same amount of success in the same time frame, within the last 30 years. I mean, y'all have won 3,
3 national titles, yeah.
and so have we.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's ridiculous that we get beat out every single. It makes no sense to me. And we're newer. Like, we have more upgrades. That was the whole reason why Jimbo Fisher left Florida State, because Florida State wouldn't upgrade, which they are now, right? Aren't they doing a little?
Yeah, it only took 5 years after our godly head coach left.
Right.
So the question I had going into this for you guys, and everybody says Georgia this, Georgia that. Is there a true favorite in college football right now? Is there a team that you look at and go, they're going to win it all? Because I know everybody says Georgia, and I'm going to give, obviously I'll let you guys go around the table, but everybody says Georgia. But follow-up question, who is Georgia's best win? Is it Kentucky? Is it Kentucky? Because Kentucky beat Florida, which doesn't,
Which felt good at the time.
right, but that doesn't look so good now.
Exactly.
And then Georgia beat Clemson, who
Trash.
They beat the almighty Arkansas Razorbacks. Trash.
They were. I mean, I think if Texas A&M wouldn't have lost their quarterback earlier in the season, Arkansas would have been out in that game.
Yeah. So trash. So my question is, who is Georgia beat? And is Georgia really the true favorite in college football?
Well, I can say this. And historically, the East in the SEC is much, much weaker.
Yeah.
The East is way, way weaker. So I don't think Georgia's not it for me. I think Georgia goes, obviously, they're going to go to the SEC championship. I think they play Alabama, and I think Alabama beats them.
Now, by that point, Georgia
Will
is probably,
still go to the playoffs.
I was going to say, they'll probably still make the playoffs.
I still think you're going to have Alabama and Georgia in the playoffs. I just don't know. Dude, is Cincinnati? Is this year of Cincinnati?
Well, that's who Josh Jones brings up. He says Cincinnati without a doubt. You may think I'm crazy, but there's no weak spot in their team.
No, their team is. I mean, they're fun to watch too. Iowa, way overrated. Holy crap!
To me,
I didn't think. I still don't think so. I just think they laid an egg. It was probably hard to get up after that Penn State game. Go ahead, Drew.
To me, it still has to be Georgia.
I thought he was saying Timmy. I thought he was going to read off a comment.
To me, it still has to be Georgia because you can only beat who is in front of you. And they've looked impressive. Excluding that first game, they've looked impressive in every single game that they've played with that offense, with playing in the past couple of weeks with a backup quarterback. That defense has looked impressive. Granted, as you've already pointed out, they haven't been against the best of offenses, but still, they've looked impressive. They've done their business. They've done their job. You can only beat who you have in front of you.
And I agree with that. But let's keep this same energy for Georgia that we had with Florida State in 2014. Because nobody said that shit in 2014 when Florida State went undefeated. You can only beat who's in front of you. Not a damn person said that about Florida State.
One F-bomb. We can't do
we
it.
can't have two.
I like that.
You can't. You can't use that take.
That's everyone. Like, I mean,
Right.
right now, you could say the same thing for Cincinnati. You could say the same thing for all these teams that never make the playoffs but go undefeated. Oh, they don't play anybody. They don't play anybody. They don't play anybody. But now we can sit here and say it just because it's Georgia? Come on. The East is trash.
I'm not like
the East is
disavowing
terrible.
you or nothing
Yeah,
like that, but
that's
because I agree with that. I agree. You can only beat who's in front of you. You got to play your schedule. Like you don't make your schedule.
Right.
You schedule your out of conference teams. That's on you. But
Yeah, but they thought they got a good one with Clemson.
right.
I mean, honestly, they thought they got a really good one with Clemson.
So like
Mhm.
they've beaten who's in front of them, and they've done a good job at that. But
Marcus, what do you think?
yeah, go ahead, Marcus.
Marcus hadn't talked. He's over there with with his feet crossed and
Marcus,
stuff. I mean,
Marcus bought a ticket to this. This is usually how we feel, Marcus. By the way.
It's okay. I didn't watch college football yesterday because I was.
all right, moving on. So,
But
what
no, I
about-
think.
it wasn't me this time.
I still think it's Alabama.
I do too.
I do too.
I do
It's-
too.
just
Yeah,
'cause
me and Kyle
lost,
talked
they
about
lost
this
one
yesterday.
game. They lost one game to A&M off of a 27-yard field goal. And they still scored 38 points against them.
And they came out last night and didn't give up a single touchdown.
Usually with teams and of course,
State.
that's that whole thing of, oh, well, if Bama lost, they lost one game. No, in order for Bama to not be in college football playoffs because of how much the committee loves them, they're going to need 3 losses. They're going to need to lose to Auburn, and they're going to need to lose. And if they lose to Auburn, then depending on the whole record, if they get into the SEC championship, and if they somehow do, Georgia has to beat them for them to say, okay, they don't deserve to be in there. Otherwise, if they sneak in the 4th spot, they're going to win it all probably.
Well, I think it just See, that's the funny part. That right there, what you just said is the funniest part. Is that even Alabama rolling into the playoffs with 2 losses, you're going, Alabama's got this shit in the bag.
Yep.
Yeah,
Like,
because if
that's
you look
the
at the
funny
other
part.
teams, let's say the 4 teams, it would be number 1. Let's say could be Georgia or Cincinnati. If Georgia loses one game and Cincinnati doesn't, they might be the number 1 seed. But
I think
let's just say
Alabama
for
beats
shits and
Georgia.
giggles, you're probably going to have Georgia and Bama in there. Cincinnati, if they keep winning, they'll be in there. And then
Oklahoma.
one of the big no,
I think they
it's gonna
lose
be,
at some point.
It's going to be
I
it's going to
think
be a
so,
Big
too.
Ten team within either Ohio State, Michigan, or Michigan State, or Penn State.
It's
one of
not going
those
to be
teams-
Michigan.
But-
Michigan just
Here we go.
yeah.
Here we
But I'm
go.
saying, you got to think, Michigan plays Michigan State. One of those teams are undefeated. They're both undefeated, and they're both top 10. One of those teams, whoever wins, is going to jump into the top. Is going to be around 6th, 7th, or 6th. And then if they somehow beat Ohio State, they're probably going to jump 5th, maybe 4th.
If they beat Ohio State, then they would 100% deserve to get up in there. But
Yeah. So
I
it's that 1 through 6 this year is going to be tough. But if Bama slides in the top 4, they're gonna win it all. That's just kind of how it is.
You know what? I actually take it back what I just said about Iowa. I was just looking at their stats. Dude, that quarterback threw 4 picks.
yeah,
How often will that happen again?
They should have lost the week before against Penn State, except the Penn State's quarterback went out in the second quarter, and they still lost by a field goal
I just want to point out that it's
Yeah, that's a good point.
always
at Iowa.
that it's always Purdue though.
Oh yeah,
Okay,
Purdue,
Purdue does do
shit
that
on
is-
somebody's parade.
Purdue
And
is the spoiler
and
of
when-
the Big Ten.
And when they shit on your parade, buddy, they shit
Yeah.
on your parade. Remember what they did to Ohio State a
State.
couple years ago?
Yeah. That's like baby green dookie is what that is.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jordan blowout.
Jordan Ostrovsky says Auburn beats Bama. Josh Jones says this is exactly why they need to expand the playoffs.
oh, I agree.
And Chef Chris is saying the playoffs were created on the basis that they could play someone given the chance.
Yeah, see, that's a whole different argument, and everybody, one thing I do want to say that I love about this year is that nobody's shitting on Cincinnati.
No.
And I love that because if there's ever been a year for a team like Cincinnati,
yes.
and I'll even say for Oklahoma or Oklahoma State, whoever wins the Big 12, if there's ever been a year for one of those teams to win the national championship, this is probably it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's going nuts. This is how crazy this year is. And I texted this to Nick yesterday. This is the kind of year where Florida State lost at home to Jacksonville State, but it's probably going to go at Clemson and get a W. That's what kind of year this has been.
This is the kind of year where Florida is complete trash, and I'm just going to say it, that might beat Georgia. I'm not saying they're
No,
better.
really,
I'm
they-
just-
they
but
might.
That's the kind of year we're having right
They
now.
really
Yeah.
might. And they got a bye week, and that'll be Anthony Richardson's first start, right?
Yeah.
I have a question.
Ooh.
With how crazy this year has been, does that help Would that have if there was a 12-team playoff at the end of this year?
12.
Well, that's what they're talking
projecting.
Yeah.
If there was a 12-team playoff at the end of this year, with how crazy this year has been with so many unknowns, would that help or hurt?
Help, 100%.
To me, it hurts because
really?
because you just have no idea who those teams are, and you're just blindly throwing teams in there. You have a general guesstimation. To me, it hurts.
Well, Ohio State's what, like number 8 right now? Can you look at Ohio State and tell me that they really might not be one of the best teams in college football?
I actually think Ohio State is the 4th team. They're going to win out. I think they beat out Michigan at the very end. They're going to.
They still smoke Michigan.
Yeah. That's where Michigan always. Yeah.
Okay.
If you haven't seen the newest episode of How Do I Eat This, you got to go and watch him talk so much trash about Jim Harbaugh.
Look at this cheese pizza, the same color as Jim Harbaugh's pants.
Can I say this? That pizza looked absolutely disgusting. Chef Chris, from that video, pizza looked terrible.
Brown in the video.
Yeah,
but let me tell you,
it was terrible.
It was Donato's pizza, and we threw it on the smoker out there, and I think that might be a
You
little
mean
bit
Donati's?
Donati's. Yeah, Donati's. Donati's. Our good chance for a plug before we move to our next topic. I see Marcus just over there fuming. He's been working his ass off moving into his new house, probably by himself, and now he doesn't get to talk on a sports show. But all of our network stuff, guys, we're really starting to pump out content consistently. I want to plug 2 things here to you. How to Eat This is going to be on our YouTube channel, Right On Network, every Thursday. Go hit subscribe because that is some funny content, and those videos are only about 5 to 7 minutes long usually.
Yep.
And
The first one, corn dogs. Oh my God!
I don't know if that one will ever get beat.
I don't think so.
Oh, no.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That one was just so funny. But Chris does an amazing job at those videos. Just being he created this whole new character that we do for this video, and it's pretty much us shitting on rednecks, and it's just so funny.
It is hilarious.
It's hilarious. And then
Try to lose half of our fan base there, Kyle. You better watch out.
there goes 18 subscribers.
Yep, there they go. Well, it's nice knowing you guys.
And then the other thing I want to plug, go check it out on Spotify. Right now, it's only on Spotify and Google Podcasts. Apple Podcasts is a joke, by the way. Yeah. But go check out the Cancel Us podcast with James Harris and Rachel Sloan. It's non-sports, and I know most of the stuff we do is sports or comic book related. So it's a nice escape, and it's for everybody. Like your wife.
They're so relatable.
They're
so
really
relatable. Yeah, everybody's gonna listen to it and hear like, oh, dude, I had these conversations with my friend from back home or whatever. Like it's gonna be. They're so relatable. You got to go listen.
And
to
it's
it.
so easy to pick a side.
Oh yeah,
it's so easy to pick a side.
Their Lion King episode was great.
Yeah. It was really good.
Yeah.
So go check them out. It's called Cancel Us Podcast. You could go to our Right On Network Facebook page and find a link to that. So just definitely go check those guys out. So let's move on here. Let's move on because I'm going to give Mr. Drew Gorman the floor here in just a second.
I'm gonna go ahead and
just to check all of this real fast. 3 Alabama, 1 Georgia.
Yeah.
Okay, just to throw that out there so everybody keeping notes for whoever's wrong.
It's just too hard to pick against Alabama, even on a year like this. All right. I'm going to put the camera solely on you here, Drew.
Oh, shoot.
Because I want to ask everybody, and if you're watching this, go ahead and leave us a comment because I want to hear your opinions. Is it time to forgive the Houston Astros? And Drew, I know you're a Houston Astros fan, so I want you to state your case because you do it in the group chat all the time.
Hell no!
Hell no!
Hey, I'm just glad the trash can's over there. Yeah. So, to me, it is definitely time to move on. It's been, 4-5 years since the scandal? I'm not saying we didn't cheat, not saying it didn't help us, but what I'm saying is we've made the 4 past ALCSs. So what exactly did the trash cans help us with? Not even all of our players used the trash cans. If you look up, there was a reporter, a New York Times reporter of all people, that confirmed that Jose Altuve did not cheat.
Bullshit.
Yeah, that's
I
a
read
massive
that.
bullshit.
Oh yeah, that
bullshit.
big tattoo on his chest, the new tat. Yeah, get the hell out of here. Bullshit.
I'm just stating. I'm just
Don't
stating.
rip off my shirt because my undershirt might hurt my tattoo.
Yeah, bullshit. Oh,
Hey, just stating.
shit take. No.
So also, I went in and looked just a brief history of sign stealing. You know who the first teams that were charged with using TV cameras to steal signs? It was in 1959. It was a Yankees and Red Sox game.
Oh my God, are we really talking about 1959?
Oh, it goes all the way back to the 1910s, 1909s.
Drew.
Then
I'll
you
stop you
also
at that one.
look, 1976, the Yankees. They had an eye in the sky. They had a Yankee scout that was up in the box in a CBS radio booth in the playoffs. Made it all the way. You know who they were going against in 1976? The Reds. The Reds got wind.
This is his way of trying to win Kyle over here.
The Reds.
Oh, here we go. Yeah, yeah.
The Reds caught wind. Their publicity director, Jim Ferguson, told the commissioner, like, hey, we need to get them out of the booth because we think they're stealing catchers from Johnny Bench. He ejected them.
Go, guys.
The Reds ended up sweeping the Yankees in that series to win the World Series.
Oh,
And
go ahead.
I know it's not baseball, but looking at the sorry, RJ, wherever you are, if you look at the freaking Patriots,
Everyone hates the Patriots.
we look what do we look back? What do we call Tom Brady? The greatest of all time. Every single one of his Super Bowl wins is fucking tainted.
Whoa. Okay,
Yeah,
first off, the one with the Bucks is definitely not tainted.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Okay. Every single one with the Patriots is tainted. You look at those. What do we look back and look at them? Yes, every now and then we'll mention, oh, they cheated for this. Oh, they cheated for this. This was a scam. This was they did this. We still look at them as a freaking dynasty.
We also all hate the Patriots.
Yeah,
I want the Patriots to lose every game, even when they had the GOAT himself on that team.
But
I
you
hate
still,
the
still
Patriots.
look at them and call him the greatest of all time. You still look at their team and say,
So
they're
what all
a
did they do
dynasty.
outside of the deflating?
Spygate. They took video of other people's practices.
Oh, okay,
Yeah, that's coaches.
First off, the Spygate was against the freaking Jets. Okay,
yeah,
like
yeah.
let's not. We're not talking about a Super Bowl team here. We're talking about a team that literally gets top 5 every year in the draft.
Did they lose anything for that?
They lost. It was like a
Oh, Dan wants to call in right now.
NFL Doc
Just so you know,
God,
Dan wants
here
to
we
call
go.
in.
NFL Doc
No.
Belichick, the maximum amount under NFL bylaws, $50,000, fined the Patriots organization $250,000, and took away the 2008 first-round draft pick, and no one was suspended.
yeah. And you know who they got in the 2008 draft? I believe it was they traded. I think their 5th round pick for Randy Moss that year. So I think they did okay.
In 2014, they falsified injury report allegations. 2014, sneaky formation baffles rate. What the?
So I can say this: that
Oh,
stealing
God.
signs is all a part of
Yeah.
baseball. But stealing signs, as in like you're on second base and you catch the sign and you can put your arms out for curveball, put your arms in for fastball or whatever. But putting something on your chest that shocks you to tell you it's a fastball coming, to bang trash cans, and not to say that, oh, not everybody on their team used it. Dude, you think that all those players respected that? You think Altuve didn't sit there and go, no, that 1 beat is for fastball, 2 beats on the trash can is for curveball? And he was like, oh, well, I think there's a curveball coming, but I know they just beat on the trash can once, so I guess I'm just going to swing as if it were a curveball. Every person on the Astros cheated. They
If
didn't
you
get
look
punished.
back-
Screw the Astros. It's
If
not
you
too
look
early.
back at every time that every time that they banged a trash can while Altuve was at bat, he literally would step out of the box and look at the dugout and go, give them the look like, cut that shit out.
No. Okay, Drew. I want to go ahead. Can we throw this out there because we're going over from left field all the way over to the parking lot on this. Can we stay on track over the Astros? Drew, when you did your research and homework,
Well, it was. I think he was talking about you going off with the Patriots and the Yankees and all that. So
you did, now I will throw this here as the side representing the absolutely hell no, we should not forget the Astros. Did you look by chance at the individual players and the overall team batting average that season when they were at home versus away? Because you'll see that there is a significant difference. It's home field advantage is one thing, but when you have players that on the road are batting 198 to 202, and at home they're batting 295 to 310, that's a massive difference.
like I said, I'm not denying we cheated. I'm just saying enough time has passed. Let's move on.
No. What did those players that did it? What did they get out of it? They got a World Series ring. They got all the benefits and bonuses and everything from being a world champion in Major League Baseball. They were not punished, even though they were the ones that physically wore it and outperformed the Dodgers in that World Series. The only ones that were hurt from it was the ownership, which basically paid, according to my payroll, is $2.75. And they lost a couple draft picks, and the manager was suspended for a year and then was turned around and was hired by the Tigers the following season.
Hey, that's not on the Astros.
Nothing.
Yeah, but what he's saying is nobody got punished.
Nobody was punished for it.
Exactly. If you would have gotten punished, I mean, if you do something wrong in life, you get punished. If you get caught, they were caught, they confessed, basically signed a plea deal, and then did not even get slapped on the wrist.
I mean, legitimately, we still bring this up. We have to bring it up every time. Pete Rose is still banned from the Hall of Fame for cheating.
All right, Kyle's getting ready now.
What happened? I was
gambling.
Watching the game.
But Pete Rose can't be in the Hall of Fame because he gambled back in the day, and that's legal today. And they're still holding that against him.
I'm going to tell you.
You're telling me that they could use something that literally lets them know what pitch is coming to basically be ready for it, and nothing happens to him. Not one single thing.
I came into this wanting to give you a legitimate shot. Like, I wanted you to be able to defend it. But as soon as you started with 1950, you lost me. Yeah, I don't know if you. By the way, the 1976 World Series where the Yankees got swept by the Reds. If you go check my Facebook from 1976, I was very upset about that. Who gives a shit about 1976? This was 2017. This was 4 years ago. Nobody's been punished. Nobody's been punished. And Marcus brought up my favorite argument about all that. That year, Jose Altuve on the road hit 210. He hit 350 at home. 350.
But he's the one that everybody backs. Oh, he didn't cheat.
He had a tattoo on his chest. Shut up! A tattoo on his chest? That's the argument. That's what we're saying. He had a tattoo on his chest. Okay, so let's say that is true. What kind of fucking dumbass goes and gets a tattoo on his chest before the playoffs?
Yeah,
and then they've shown him. They have shown him since, like right after that, there is no tattoo. There is no tattoo on his chest.
So let's just pretend it's true. He's an idiot. Why do you go get a tattoo before the ALCS? Also, and I know Dan wants to call in, but I just don't know if we have a way to make that happen.
Yeah.
But I'm going to give him this opportunity probably next week. I'm going to give him the opportunity to come on here and talk about this a little bit because he was part of that where, Jose Altuve hit that walk-off home run to send the Astros to the World Series off of Aroldis Chapman. And that was because he knew exactly what pitch was coming. So Dan was directly affected by this because that took away who I think was going to win the World Series that year, the Yankees. They were primed. They
were ready. Oh, yeah.
There was no stopping them unless you cheated. And Marcus also brought up my other favorite point about this. Why am I not forgiving the Houston Astros? Because Pete Rose bet on himself.
Yeah, not to lose.
Did not shave points. Did not throw games. Bet on himself, and cannot be allowed into the Hall of Fame.
What's funny about Pete Rose is single-handedly considered the best hitter of all time.
And he absolutely should be.
Pure hitter of all time, and is still not in the Hall of Fame, just based solely on the fact that the baseball folks thought that he tainted baseball. You don't feel the Astros tainted baseball? by using technology to steal signs.
Right, and it's not like stealing signs is like Nick
Is
said.
a part
it's,
of it.
It's a part of the game, dude. That's allowed to happen, but it's not. That's like me being on second base and being like,
It's scouting.
That's a
What you're
fastball.
doing is scout. Like if you're sitting on
You're
second
allowed
with
to
the
do
lead
that.
off,
Right.
and you use the same signs and the same and the same movements from the catcher and even the pitcher. That's legal. But to literally see something and you get a vibration or a pulse, and that gives you the heads up way ahead of time, you can, if you're sitting on a fastball and you get a curveball notification, it tells you it's going to be a curveball. You sit on it a hell of a lot longer. You know what I mean? It's not a guess. It's not a guess anymore. But if you know it, you're gonna hit a lot better. And they did that all year. Like I had mentioned again, the batting averages for home and away are totally different.
I have Drew's defeated face on everybody's screen.
Hey,
I don't know what he expected coming into this. It's like the only people that think that they should be forgiven are Astros fans. That's the only. Oh, and I'm sorry, and the commissioner of baseball, because nothing has been happened yet.
Rob
Nothing.
Manfred could. Yeah, I don't like him.
Rob
If
Manfred's
this
an
shit would have
We've
happened
dropped 3
to
F-bombs. I'm not gonna.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna drop.
if this would have happened to
oral
the, I mean,
sex
honestly,
reference.
if this would have happened to, I don't know, if this would have happened to like the Yankees, probably more would have happened. I mean, honestly, it probably would have. If this would happen to we can't even do this. The Red Sox fired Alex Cora and then rehired him the following year. So obviously they didn't care. I was just like,
At least
my
Alex Cora
God.
had the at least he served some kind of he got a spanking.
Right.
Did AJ Hinch not?
He got a spanking. Well, what about the players that benefited from this?
Carlos Beltran?
I mean, I wouldn't say AJ
Like the
Hinch got us.
He resigned.
At least
Carlos Beltran. Jesus
Okay,
Christ.
no.
Are we really
Resigned.
talking about that?
He said, "What about the players?" I brought up a player.
Beltran. Oh, come
I'm
on,
talking
man.
about a relevant player.
I mean,
on
what
that
was he,
World
like
Series team.
40? He was ready to retire
Like,
anyway?
Maybe the one that can't see over a desk, but hit a game-winning home run off one of the best closing pitchers in baseball.
Yeah.
So, Drew, how do you feel? How do you feel this conversation went?
I just hope it was very therapeutic for you guys.
Oh,
to
100%.
Get it out in the open.
I'll
get
tell you
it
what was
going,
therapeutic for me.
and hope that you guys can move on and move
No
past
sex
this.
jokes, Kyle.
What
No.
was therapeutic for me was watching the Boston Red Sox hit grand slams in back-to-back innings yesterday in the
Oh,
Astros.
That was awesome.
bravo!
That
I will
bravo.
never say this again. Go Sox.
Go Sox.
Go Sox.
Go
Yeah.
Sox.
Go Sox.
Go Sox. I love Boston.
Yeah, Boston.
Up
Go
there
Sox.
for the freaking baked beans and the tea party in freaking Boston.
I got
for
a
real.
question.
What's up?
If Boston moves on and the
Yeah.
Dodgers move on,
Boo. Bad
was
take.
when was the last time that 2 wild card teams that played in the wild card round made it to the World Series?
That's a good question.
I also a different conversation I think for a different day, but I hate that the Dodgers are unquestionably and all year long, even though the Giants won that division, I know we could talk about that, but the Dodgers had a lot of injuries to start the season. I think the Dodgers are the best team in baseball right now.
I can't say this. They did win that division series off of a bullshit call.
Yo, they did. They
That
did.
was
but,
not a check swing.
But they
No.
also
But
had
it is a
14 strikeouts in that game.
Yeah. And did anybody else see how Max Scherzer acted like he did everything in that game? He closed it out, got 3 outs, and he celebrated as if he just won the World Series for his entire team.
God forbid he takes his team to the NLCS. I don't agree with that.
But well, people were like, look, even his own players, like teammates, were looking at him like, calm down.
We've
That's
been
big for him. He's been in freaking Washington.
but
He
he
started his
He
career
won a World
in
Series like 2 years ago.
But he started his
Not like
career
he
in
hasn't been
freaking
there.
Detroit. It's
That
not like the
is
dude's
true.
seen a ton of
but
success.
he was that dude in Washington. He was the one and only dude.
Yeah, but when
I
but-
wouldn't say
but he was-
only.
yeah, I wouldn't say one and only at all.
Strasburg won the
Pitcher-wise.
MVP
See,
that in the World Series.
But the problem there, just saying that, is he not in LA? Because I think he is. If you trust Scherzer to come in and pitch the bottom of the 9th compared to Kenley Jansen, I think you
Kenley
are
Jansen's
that guy.
Terrible.
Okay.
I think you
But I
are
mean,
that
like,
guy.
you gotta think,
It's like
man,
somebody coming in and
that's
pitching
a
for a
very-
Aroldis Chapman. Like, hold up. Like, the Red
The
Rocket,
Dodgers-
what? Isn't that what they call him? The red. No,
But
they
you gotta
used to
think,
call
man,
him. That was
if
when
healthy, the
Cuban
Dodgers
missile.
have if healthy, the
messed that
Dodgers
up
have
really
four
bad.
guys.
Red
who are
Rocket
the-
is like
who are
Andy
aces.
Dalton. They don't really look the same. They're like complete opposites.
I was thinking of the Reds. Like when he was with the Reds. My bad. The Cuban missile.
It was like completely opposite ends
Oh,
of
that
the
was
spectrum
terrible.
here.
That was terrible.
Oh man.
All right.
All right, well,
We'll make that a thumbnail there. That'll be a small little clip of me being an idiot.
Marcus, I think you were about to say something, and then we're going to move on to our final thing.
Oh, I was saying, like, with as far as with the Dodgers pitching rotation, they're just, when healthy, they're the starting rotation's deep. I mean,
Will they get Kershaw back?
Scherzer, Bueller, and Bauer. If they're all healthy, I mean, you have 4 aces on your roster. Like,
They will get Kershaw back?
It wouldn't surprise me if they mess around and activate Trevor Bauer at some point in his NLCS.
You think so?
like,
I
mean,
doubt
it's just
it.
It's unreal.
I don't
It's,
doubt it.
if they go to the World Series, I think he'll be activated.
No. I doubt it.
I mean, I could see it. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. I doubt it too, but
I
it
doubt
really
the
wouldn't
MLB
surprise
will
me.
allow it. That's the
Yeah.
problem.
That's
Exactly.
that's
I
the
doubt
thing.
the
He is
MLB
on the
will
too
allow
exempt
many,
list.
too many legal hoops.
Mhm.
But
I
you know,
don't
I
see
mean,
it.
they allow a championship banner to be hung in the Astrodome, knowing what the hell happened there. So
Minute Maid Park.
Justin Turner was
sorry.
playing. Remember last year? Justin Turner played
he
and
told you.
had coronavirus,
Yeah.
apparently.
you got me. What a goober.
All
Let's
right.
move
But,
on.
I mean,
Do we have any comments about the Astros?
We have
There's a lot of Astros sucks comments.
Dan Gonzalez with an all caps hell no. Bo Green with a nope. Then Dan Gonzalez went on a tirade going buzzers on Altuve. Cora should have gotten a lifetime ban for being the ringleader of this. And he says, I mean, AJ Hinch coaching the Tigers is a pretty nice punishment. And Chef Chris says there's no way.
So it sounds like you're the only
Wow.
one.
It's almost like only Astros fans think they shouldn't be punished.
damn, imagine that.
Imagine
Imagine
that.
that.
I did watch like a little
Wow.
thing just before we move on that, right after all of this, once it all went out there and everybody knew and everybody was booing Jose Altuve. He had like some of the worst years of his career because he was super upset because everybody was booing him.
Oh,
He was
poor
just
baby.
so sad.
You didn't even go play in the All-Star game this year because you know good and damn well what you did.
Mm-hmm.
You know good and damn well. And last thing I'm going to say about this. You guys are so hated for all of that you've got Yankees fans rooting for the Boston Red Sox.
Dude, absolutely.
There is not more hate in any sport, in any rivalry. There's not. There's not more hate in any rivalry in all of sports. Probably in soccer. I'm sure there is some over there. Like those dudes
They have a
actually
lot
kill-
of hate for
those
each
dudes
other.
actually kill
Yeah.
each other over there.
Yeah.
But in American sports, there is not more hate between two teams than the Red Sox and the Yankees. And you've got Yankees fans actively cheering for the Boston Red Sox to go to the World Series right now.
Yep.
I'm sure they want them to get swept once they get there.
Yeah.
But
Right
Oh.
now.
just an interesting take on that. Just something I noticed. All right, let's move on. Final thing of the week here, and then we're gonna go ahead and get on out of here and go watch the second half of the Dolphins and Jags. Everybody get hyped! Woo!
Woohoo, let's
Anybody else feel bad
go.
for the Brits?
13-3. Oh, dude. Falcons versus Jets 1 week,
Yeah.
and then this game.
Like, hey man, you think maybe next year, since you did this to us, you could send us the Bucks and the Chiefs? I know they're not supposed to play, but screw it. Please, for the love of God, send us something next year. Give us the Chiefs and Bills.
They'll get the Bengals and the Texans.
The Bengals, ladies and gentlemen, the primetime game of 2022 in London is the Jets and Lions. Let's go,
Yeah.
let's go.
Nah, the Lions are too interesting.
Oh,
You gonna come eat your kneecaps.
Yeah. Actually, I like the Lions. They're fun
Yeah.
to watch. They have been fun to watch this year, even though they're garbage.
They're still like
They're so
winless.
bad.
It's just it's
so
terrible.
let's see. Dolphins, Jags. Who we picking?
I actually picked the Jags, and now I feel like a fool. But
I picked the Jags as well.
I'm taking a happy L on this.
Yeah.
I think I picked the Dolphins on this one. I just don't see the Jacksonville Jaguars winning at
Of
all.
course, it's also not over because we're throwing 4-yard slants on 3rd and 6. So
To-
on your
To
own
me-
goal line.
yeah, on our own goal line.
To me, I picked with Tua's return. He wanted this game.
Okay.
Bengals, Lions.
I'm gonna
Bengals.
take the. Okay, sorry. Yeah, we'll go Marcus, Nick, Kyle.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought that's how it was always before that. I started.
Well,
you ended
you have
it.
to forgive me. It's been like 10 years since you guys have all been on the show.
Yeah, I was
so-
about to say
I
you
apologize.
saw me like waiting my turn because I
Ooh.
knew better. I've
Yeah.
been here in weeks.
Bengals.
I think Lions.
I'm taking Detroit
Oh.
as well.
I'm gonna go Bengals.
I think it's
Do
hard.
you
for the
guys
Beng-
know
oh,
that
yeah.
I picked
Quick
this is like a
picks.
little like a 10-second side note. I
Oh.
picked up the Bengals kicker because I know that there's something's going to end crazy with it in Detroit.
It's a good point.
Bengals kicker's an idiot, by the way, for what he did last week. My man was so. Oh, he came from.
Florida.
Oh no.
McPherson.
Oh no.
What did he do?
Dude, he celebrated a
missed-
the kick was in the air, and he starts celebrating that they won the game.
The
and it
game
goes
winner.
so wide,
Really?
so.
How did I
bad.
miss that? What's crazy is he normally makes that. I mean, he won them the
Yeah.
one game because
Yeah.
he's very good kicker.
Yeah, he kind of shanked it, but he was celebrating it while it was in the air.
Oh shit!
And it
I'll have to
missed.
go back and watch that one.
Texans Colts.
Oh, by the way, what we're doing here is these are quick picks. So
Yeah, until we get to a few, we're going to talk about a couple.
yeah, those are they're going to be after
the
all
bottom.
this, yeah. All right, let's go. Texans, Colts. Marcus, go.
I'll take the Texans.
Colts.
Colts.
Colts. Rams.
This seems
Giants.
like one of those games.
Yeah, could be.
Rams.
Who's-
Giants.
Give me the Rams.
Easy peasy. Rams.
Yeah, Rams by a lot.
No
Rams.
Saquon.
Maybe no Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
Chiefs. Washington.
Kansas City.
Kansas City as well.
Dude, they're struggling.
They are struggling, but
But-
something's going to turn them around.
They have to.
Yeah,
This
they
is
have
a
too much
must-win.
talent. Yeah.
Must win for Kansas City. You never
Mhm.
thought you'd be saying that this early.
Yeah, because they could
So
be
you
2 and
pick
4
Chiefs?
after this. They could be 2 and 4.
I picked Chiefs as well. Vikings. Panthers.
Ooh,
Is Cook playing?
It's looking like he is.
It's looking like he is. Thanks,
where's the
fantasy guru.
give me Carolina.
I need to check that because he's in my.
Yeah, I was about to say. I mean, this one's going to be. I don't want to take too much time, but I'm going to say, if he's playing, then Vikings. If he's not, you know what? Screw it. Still Vikings because Madison's a
Madison's-
badass.
yes.
Yeah.
Dalvin. Okay,
Good
week
girl.
6 injuries. Dalvin Cook is in. Okay.
Okay, yep.
I'm going Vikings.
Yep.
I got Vikings as well. Raiders. Broncos.
It's a good
Raiders?
game.
Give me the Broncos.
I'm going to go
Too
Broncos
much-
as well. Too much shit going on in Vegas.
Way too much shit going on in Vegas.
Too much shit.
Broncos. Yeah. Sorry.
Cowboys. Pats.
Who are you going with on that last one?
Broncos.
Okay.
I was gonna say you need to say
Mister-
your picks out loud, so I don't.
Mr. 0 interceptions. Teddy Bridgewater.
He has one now,
He has one.
Okay. Mr. 1
and
interception.
it was the worst one he's ever thrown.
Cowboys.
Good.
Pats.
Dallas.
Patriots.
I think the Patriots defense is good.
I think that's only just strictly out of hate for Dallas. I mean, honestly.
Well, listen. I mean, it's going to be a good game, but I'll take the Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys, but I wouldn't be surprised if New England slips this out.
Cowboys.
Yeah, I feel like an idiot but I just
Steelers. Seahawks.
Somebody always wins.
Oh
by
my
those, though. Being the
God,
only person, I was just saying.
Give me Steelers.
Steelers.
Yeah, I don't know what we did wrong to deserve this. By the way, I don't know if Goodell's punishing us for what Gruden did or said about him. But Steelers Seahawks, Ben Roethlisberger versus Geno Smith on Sunday Night Football. Goodell, take that, or whoever makes the TV schedule. He's just the easiest.
That's
one.
a good L right there.
Yeah. Golly, man, give me the Steelers.
Oh, yes.
Give me Gino.
Oh boy, here we go.
Oh, he's writing S's
Okay.
over there. Like,
All right.
Those are P's.
okay. Thought he was going Seahawks Steelers. I thought he was going S and S.
Bills. Titans.
Bills.
Jesus.
Josh Allen
Bills.
all day.
Not even.
I don't think this one's going to be close. I mean, I think that the Derrick Henry could run all over that defense, but it's going to be Bills all day long.
I picked a good week to work.
Titans.
I'm telling you.
Titans.
Yeah, the best game's at noon. The best game of the week's at noon.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Packers. Bears. This is one we can talk about.
Okay,
Ooh,
cool. Good
I'll
friend.
take the Packers.
Save that LAC game for last.
I got you.
Yeah, because that's the best game of the week. Who'd you take?
Yeah, I
Packers.
take the Packers. I'm trusting Aaron Rodgers.
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 I think all the rest of it's a fluke. He's back in the playoffs. Rodgers.
I think the Bears actually win this game. I think they're going to take that as disrespect. What he said, that like kind of that shade he threw at the Bears earlier this week, and it's at Chicago, right?
Yeah.
I think at Soldier Field, I think the Bears come out and pull the upset here.
Okay.
Give me the Bears on the back of Justin Fields. I think he sets them over the edge, and they have a rookie running back starting in Chicago. I really like him.
Khalil Herbert guy.
Yeah, I think
good.
and they really like him.
He's good.
I think he's poised for a big day because he's played, but no one's really game planned for him. I think it's a big day for these two rookie in the backfield.
And plus,
Shit, let me go ahead and pull him out of my starting lineup. Then thanks, Drew. I appreciate that. Damn.
Green Bay's got a lot.
Damn
of
it, man.
Green Bay's
Why'd
got a
you
lot of
say
injuries
that?
on defense too, so really wouldn't shock me.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cardinals, Browns.
Oh, give me the Cards.
Even without Kingsbury, going Cards.
I'm going to take the Browns here just because Kingsbury's not going to be coaching. Vance Joseph has already proven that he can't be a good coach, and I think he's taking the reins today as coach. Kyler Murray's banged up. Chase Edmonds is kind of banged up.
Yeah, he is. He hasn't looked good in the last
James
few
I also
Conner's
want to
taking
throw-
that job.
I want to throw out there too, Kyle, that Nick Chubb is out today, and
Yep.
Kareem Hunt is a game time decision today as well.
Yep.
Oh, really?
Yep.
And and
But
Baker
their next-
Mayfield's shoulder is destroyed pretty much.
I'm
He's just
still-
out there.
I'm still taking. I'm still going to take him on Baker Mayfield's arm.
Okay.
I'm taking the Browns as well. I think this is where the Cardinals they started 5-0 last year.
Yep.
This is where they start that decline.
I think Odell goes off today.
He has
That's
to.
a good take.
I think,
yeah,
right?
for them to
Yeah.
win, he has
Yeah.
to go off.
Yeah. And finishing out the week, we've got Chargers, Ravens.
God, what a great game at noon.
That's a good game.
Steelers
Yeah, that
and
is-
Seahawks is tonight, and I have to get home. I have to hurry up and get home so I can watch the best game of the week if it's on TV.
Yeah, yeah, in this area.
Yeah. If not,
Ooh,
we got
man.
ways. But
Yeah, we got ways.
Give me the Chargers. Yeah, give me the Chargers, man.
this one's tough, dude. Do you have any defense for that?
Yeah, I was about to say, just talk about that a minute.
Yeah, 'cause I need to.
I mean,
I need some
stew on
thinking
this.
time.
I knew this
The
was coming. And I
offense-
still got to stew.
It's gonna be hard to contain Lamar, especially with the fact that he did play great last week. But it's not something that you consistently see week after week after week after week. What you do see on the opposite side with the Chargers is Justin Herbert and company just absolutely dominating the offensive side. The defense, as of right now, is holding whatever they need to hold to get the W's. Baltimore's defense is kind of suspect a little bit. And
Holy shit, was that a good catch?
Yeah, Marvin Jones.
and I mean,
I think
Mike
I
Williams
started
is
him.
six.
Yes,
I did too.
I did too.
Mike Williams is playing fantastic football this year. They still got Austin Eckler, and I'm trusting Herbert and company. I do think this game, though, the total points between both teams is going to be around like 72 to 75.
Ooh,
It's going to be a high scoring game. It's going to be high scoring.
Drew, isn't fantasy football a weird place where you're cheering for Marvin Jones in one league, but you're playing against me in ours? I'm only projected like 115, so I wouldn't worry too much about it.
In a league that we have 2 flex
Yeah,
spots.
yeah. Go ahead.
I'm going to go Chargers also. I think that defense, I don't believe that they shut Lamar down, but Lamar this year, I know he's never been a passer. He's looked really bad passing this year. He's run the hell out of the ball, but he hasn't really looked very well.
Except for last Monday. But
Yeah,
that
the
was also
second half
against-
of last Monday.
But that was also against practice squad corners.
yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, he just hasn't looked great. So, I mean, I have him in one of my leagues as well, and it's not fun to watch. Hell, I think it's in ours. Maybe. But, yeah, I have the Chargers.
Man, this is an interesting game, and I want to say this: it's really hard to contain Lamar Jackson, and this is where you guys are gonna right. But coming off of 17 tackles with a tackle for loss and a sack last week, I think they're gonna spy Derwin James on Lamar all game long. I think that he is on Lamar Jackson duty today, and we'll see just how that's gonna be a fun matchup. Lamar Jackson's eyes versus Derwin James's eyes. And that's just going to be fun. And I just don't know if those Baltimore receivers are going to be able to get the separation that they're going to need. And just take the Chargers, man. What a time. What a time to watch the Dolphins score 13 points in the first half against the worst team in the NFL and the Jags, and to see Justin Herbert just balling out. What a great time to be a Dolphins fan. Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers.
I'm going to also go with the Chargers. You guys have all stated
Sweep,
it.
the first sweep of the day.
Yeah,
Oh, so us having the conversation dictated who you want to pick. So you collected all of our information to make your pick.
That's
No.
sign stealing.
Oh,
Yeah,
there it
exactly.
is.
Thank you,
I-
Kyle.
Drew Strix over there.
Drew Strix. I like it.
Marcus, that's how I know we still have good chemistry together.
Okay, I got a question. I know I haven't been here in a few weeks, but if I step on one more damn
weeks.
thumbtack, I'm gonna kick someone's ass.
A few weeks.
It's been 3 weeks.
Yeah,
3
last time you've been here, man. I mean, good Lord.
In 84 years.
It's been a long time. I don't even think we had the banner up over there with the Right On Network on that screen. It's
Bitch,
been that long.
I brought the banner.
I don't think the
Oh,
Right
what?
On Network was a thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even think so.
We're a Right On Sports podcast.
Hi, I'm Nick.
We're a podcast.
Nice to meet you. The Right On Sports podcast. Thank you. I'm the host.
It was what, June last time we seen you, bro?
Dude, it feels like it's been a while. It does.
June
Yeah.
2016.
And to have to watch, Drew actually step in and try to take my spot and stuff, it was like
Hey, got to do
You
what you
tried
gotta
sitting
do
in your
sometimes.
chair often. We said
I
no.
saw that. I did not like everyone sitting in my chair. I did not like it. Every time I watched it, I was like, this is bullshit.
I was going to keep it
Germany
empty.
I was like trying to tell Jessica, Germany will be here forever. Like, I mean, I don't need to go there.
Germany.
That's why I kept letting them sit in your chair. I was kind of worried that you'd be in Germany forever. I was kind of worried that you weren't going to get back from Germany.
It didn't feel like it for a little
Do
while.
you want to tell that story and then we're going to end the show?
Look, sure, I can tell it.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this camera on us. I'm gonna let Nick send this thing home. Marcus and Drew, thank you guys as always. I mean, excellent
Yes, sir.
job. I'm even muting my mic because tell your story. Just vent on here about your trip to your trip to Germany was probably fun. Your trip home from Germany.
The trip to Germany was fantastic. It was great. The trip to Germany was fantastic. Jessica didn't like it as much just based on the fact that it was all outside and there was a lot of walking and there wasn't a whole lot of history left because of, it was a relatively new after World War II, that stuff. But so the trip was great. We loved Germany. It was fantastic. Food was a little different, but whatever. But on the ride back, so we get to the airport. We're supposed to leave at 1 o'clock, and we get on the plane. Everything's fine. We fly for 3 hours, and all of a sudden, we all feel us turning around, and the pilot comes over the intercom and says, "There's a water leak on the plane." So we have to return. We thought, well, we're not that far from London, at this point. So why wouldn't we just put down in? No, we're going to go all the way back to Frankfurt. So we have to fly all the way back to Frankfurt, 3 hours. So we've flew for 6 hours and have gone right back to where we started. And by the time we got back, it was 8 o'clock at night. We get off the plane, pissed off, whatever. And no one will tell us where to go. The airport is basically like shutting down because we flew with Lufthansa and which is like a German airline, and every service center we went to, there was nobody there. So and the flight attendants were all like, "Yeah, just come out here, turn left." So we go out, turn left. We get in a line, discover that we're about to go to a different country. Because we thought we were in a service center line. Nope, we were about to board another plane. So we get out of that line and start walking with this big group of people trying to get to a service center to see if we can fly out tonight. Is it tomorrow? What are we doing? Do we need to find a hotel? What is going on? And we finally get to a service center, and it's about 9:30. So we've been walking around for like an hour and a half. I mean, we know every crevice of the Frankfurt airport. And we get to the service center, go through everything, and we finally sit down with somebody, and we're talking with them, and they're like, okay, so we can fly you to Miami on a nonstop. And we're like, oh, well, how the hell do we get to Orlando? My car is in Orlando. And they said, well, we'll shuttle you. Yeah. They wanted to sit us on a bus for 4 hours from Miami to Orlando. And I was like, absolutely not. No way in hell am I doing that. So we turned that one down, and they're like, well, we can do Miami, and it's a connection flight, Miami, and then to Orlando. And I was like, well, why wouldn't you just lead with that one? I guess we'll do that one. And as she clicks on it, oh, sorry, just sold out. I'm like, are you kidding? This is the only 2 options we have, and both of them are gone now. And so they said, oh, well, there is one to Detroit. No, Chicago. Sorry, Chicago. And we're like, so there's a connection from Chicago to Orlando. And so we're like, well, I guess, she was like, no, you can think about it. This is the last flight out of Frankfurt tomorrow. You could think about it. Flights are getting, selling out right there in front of us. And you want us to think about it? No, just put us on a flight home. We just want to get home at this point. And so we book it. They put us in a hotel, and they give us food. This is the worst food I've ever eaten in my entire life. Look, when I tell you that this said chicken, and it tasted like breakfast sausage, I had no idea what I was putting in my mouth. But I was so hungry, and we never left. All of the restaurants were closed in the airport. It's late. I mean, they fed us. It was terrible. It was absolute. I ate fish. Regretted it. Because who eats fish in a hotel? And yeah, and so it was terrible. But we get up the next day, head back to the airport, get on the plane. Everything's great. We get to Chicago. In great time. Everything's fantastic. We get to our thing. And at this point, Jessica and I are arguing a little bit. Just because we're both stressed out. We're both trying to get home. Tension is high. So, arguing a little bit, whatever. And we go to board the plane in Chicago to fly to Orlando. Get on the plane. We're sitting down. Everything is fine. We're looking at each other like, I hate you too. And, and yeah, and we intercom comes over, water leak, second plane to get canceled. Oh my God. I look over at my wife's defeated face. Like I've never seen her so disappointed except for after sex. And and I put it. So we all get off this plane, and we get off the plane, and everybody now tensions are like soaring at this point, and we're the only thing that's available. They won't give us any information. They don't know if they're going to get another plane. We have no idea what's going on, and they won't. The only other airline that had a flight to Orlando that day was in 45 minutes. But they wouldn't let us book it online. I guess maybe it was too close, I don't really know. But they wouldn't let us book it online, so we had to go to the third terminal. We're in Terminal 1. We need to get to Terminal 3 to then get all the way across the airport, get in line, buy the ticket for us, and they were already boarding. Because, you board 30 minutes, 40 minutes before time or something. So they're already boarding. And I'm like, I think this is dumb. She's like, well, this is the only way. And I was like, what about our bags? Well, she was like, fuck it, leave them. And I was like, well, that's, I don't think that's a good idea. And so we're arguing back and forth, whatever. And we finally get back up, and they ended up getting us a new plane. And we finally get back in Orlando, and me and Jessica sit down at the parking garage or whatever, and we both look at each other, and I have to drive now. So I didn't get home. We didn't get home back in Panama City until 4 a.m. on Monday. So I had to call out of work. She had to call out of work. I mean, it was a debacle. It was definitely a debacle, but it was a terrible time there at the end. And that's the problem. Now I can't even talk about Germany without going, oh, the country's great. Everything was great. Except this one little story. I mean, but there was a couple of times where we looked at each other, was like, we were so mad, just so frustrated with the whole experience that it was pretty rough. It was pretty rough. But we did look at each other in the car, and both of us, you know how like you fight with somebody and then you're like, you insult each other, and then you're like, I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, me too. That's kind of how we sat in the van. Like, I was like, my bad. She was like, yeah, I'm sorry too. I mean, so it ended like that. We're fine now, just in case Jessica's listening. And
Never in doubt.
she's probably not.
Probably still asleep.
Probably
Where my wife's at.
Yeah. But yeah, that's the story of the terrible time of coming back to Orlando. Jessica did come back, and if anybody knows her, she's a traveler, and she did go, maybe we should stay stateside for a little bit. Yeah, that's where it had her going. It was rough. It was rough, especially because in Germany, they all speak English, but there's still a language barrier. And there was a time where I thought I was going to have to, like, bail my wife out of jail. Because
Mr. and Mrs. Gurley, if you could please.
Yeah.
If you could please come to the Terminal 3 over here.
Yeah. She is in line.
Way too good.
Yeah, it was. She's in line we're about to go back through to check us or whatever, security. And this dude obviously sees that we do not speak German. She's talking in German. We're like, yeah, English. I mean, and he's like refusing. He speaks English because he did it a couple of times, and he just refused to speak it to us. And he's yelling at Jessica to pour out her water, which, she was looking for a place to pour it out and he was like in the bathroom, and she just like dumps it out into the trash can because that's what we do, I guess. And she walks through, and this dude was yelling at her in German, and I'm like sitting back. She's yelling back, and I'm like, oh shit! Like what is going on? Almost like our time in Italy where I got into it with a cop. It was really odd. I mean, we've had some times, but it was a rough coming home party. Jeez. But glad to be back in the States.
Send us out of here.
Well, guys, everybody, it was so much fun being back here. Astros suck. We'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for listening to the Wright On Sports Show. Find the podcast on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, or find the guys on YouTube at Wright On Sports and hit that subscribe button to be notified when they go live. In the meantime, check them out on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Wright On Sports.